Good morning, Leslie, or good afternoon, and welcome.
Yeah, hello.
My name is Deborah, and I'm from Canada. I'll let my panelists introduce themselves too.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm from the United Kingdom.
And I'm Erin, also from Canada. Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here, Leslie.
So, Leslie,
Hi.
my understanding is you're a teacher from Medan in North Sumatra, Indonesia, and you are going to share with us today about education is a human right. So we look forward to hearing from you, and we'll turn it over to you.
Okay. So I can start now?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Hi. So I'm Leslie from Indonesia. Right now I'm teaching I'm just working at an institution at a Cambridge school. So I'm quite lucky to have the chance to come to the IB and the Cambridge training. But then by time after I teach, I found out that there is a gap. The gap as in as you know, Indonesia, the Indonesians, not all of the Indonesians can afford international school. I mean, the school fee is very, very expensive for most of the Indonesians. And from the training that I have taken, right now I'm working, what I'm trying to do is I mix the curriculum. So from the experience that I get from the A-level and the IB training, I try to share the content to most of the students here who are not sitting at an international school, because I believe that the curriculum itself is good. So if they have the chances to learn about this curriculum, then they might have the chance to sit for the entrance exam offered by NTU or NUS for scholarship. That's what I'm doing right now. And on my spare time, I'm working at some minor programming. If you ever know, there's one device called as microbit. So microbit is basically almost similar to Raspberry Pi, or is almost similar to Arduino. So it's a simple programming, and I have a chance to learn about this. So basically, after I learn it, I always share to the students who come from several backgrounds. So even if they cannot afford paying the tuition fee, I will give them a free course. So let's say if these children, they have fund issues, right? Maybe their parents are not working, so they can just tell me and I will teach them for free. And even if the students are capable of paying, the fee that I charge is approximately around 30% of the market price. So I'm very lucky because I myself can teach several subjects. So I'm teaching like A-level mathematics, physics, chemistry, statistics. Because it's difficult for me to depend on others. I mean, we can have a lot of teachers, but not a lot of teachers or not a lot of people have the willingness to be paid at a rate of 30%. I mean, we have many teachers here, but then not all teachers have the willingness to be paid around 30% of the price. But I'm very lucky because I never mind about the income. So income can't last. It's the last thing that I will worry about, because I myself like to study and then I like teaching. So right now, my institution only have 2 teachers. I am one of the teacher, and I have one sister. My sister is a doctor. So she is teaching biology for A-level. And then the students that we have right now is more than 100. So I quit teaching at school, and then I just focus on my institution, and then both of us run an institution with more than 100 students, and we never talk about price at the first place. So that's what I am doing.
Leslie, thank you so much for sharing this work with us. It's really fantastic to hear what you're doing, and education is the key to everything. So what you're doing is so important, and you are changing the lives of young people who otherwise wouldn't have that opportunity, which is amazing. But we need more of this in the world. Indonesia needs more of this, and the rest of the world, many other countries, maybe every country needs more of this. So what you're doing is amazing. And it's so lovely that you've got such a great heart that you will do this in a voluntary kind of manner. But in order for this to be sustainable and for it to grow, and for more young people who need to access this education without having to pay the high fees, have you looked at any funding streams? Because there are big companies out there who are looking to, there's big STEM companies out there, there's big innovation companies who are looking to put some of their funds into charitable projects, which will help and support education in various places across the world. There's big companies out there that have that funding, and they're just looking for people like you to give that funding to, which would mean that you could get more teachers and you could pay them at a higher rate, and you could do this without it being such a voluntary way, and this would be more sustainable, and you would be able to grow it, and more children would be able to access what you're doing, because it's amazing and it's so important. Have you looked at any funding streams? Have you looked for any grants or for any big companies? They don't have to be Indonesian. They can be companies that are based in other parts of the world. Have you looked at that?
Until now, I never did that. But then what I'm doing is, so I ever send so my students is not always come from the background with economic issues. I have some students who also like have a good financial. So I have sent some students to UCLA and Minnesota U, and there are some students that go to Waterloo and also KAIST at Korea. So because even they come from a good financial background, their fee is the same with the one that have a poor economic background. So fee is the last things that I will discuss, because they found out that I treat them in that way. And then what I'm doing right now is, after they go to university, when they have their summer break, I will ask them to make a summer class.
Oh.
So let's say, okay, so you have learned like first calculus 1, right? Okay, you have learned calculus 1. And then in UCLA, how does a calculus 1 looks like? We will conduct a Zoom sessions. So those Indonesian students that want to learn more, they can take the course for free. So because I started with low payment for them, and then they are happy to help me.
This is awesome. So
Yeah.
you're supporting these young people to build new skills, and then they're paying back to the community and supporting your cause by then teaching classes. So you are spreading it. You've got a sustainable way to spread this. That is really awesome. I'm so impressed, Leslie, and I think I've just learned a lot from you. Thank you very much.
Leslie, I just wanted to add, like, in addition to being an educator, you are so clearly a social entrepreneur, which is just exceptional and so exciting. I'm curious, can you tell us a story about one of the students you've worked with and what they've gone on to do? You just mentioned all the amazing schools that some of them have gone to. I'm curious if there's one story you might highlight for us about one of your students.
Oh, you want to share the stories about my students?
Yeah, I'm curious what one of your students has gone on to do.
Okay, so I started teaching. It's very hard to have a trust issue because honestly speaking, until today, I have a LinkedIn. I play LinkedIn, and then yeah, usually they will see like, okay, I'm an Indonesian, so no much vacancy they can offer for me. Same at first, my students or the parents here don't really trust me because I'm an Indonesian, and then they are thinking like, are you really capable of teaching A level? So the students that I sent to UCLA, he got a scholarship partially, not full. Partially from Imperial. Imperial College offered him scholarship, but then it's partial. And on the other hand, he's accepted by UCLA, so he chose to take a UCLA. compared to Imperial. I don't know how I got how I gained the trust from him. But then after his IGCSE exam, what I told him is, from my experience, even if you leave to, let's say you go for Singapore for study, right? It doesn't make you better, because education, it depends on your teacher. I mean, like, by staying at a certain school doesn't always make you gain a better score, because sometimes the teachers change and we don't know the issue that happened inside. I have been teaching him starting when he was sitting at secondary 1. So after secondary 4, year 10, he's doing his IGCSE. So like it's around 4 years. And then I just tell him, you try to consider staying at Medan, don't go anywhere. Just try to be diligent. It will be the same. Because the syllabus is the same around the world. It's just basically, you have the right teacher and then you have the right students who want to learn, and you can gain, that will be a result. And what is like, what made me happier is I have one student that I sent to KAIS. He's a dropout. He finished IGCSE and then he take IB, but then IB doesn't fit him. So the parents doesn't understand. They always think IB is better than Cambridge. I say we cannot generalize in that way, because they are different curriculum. It depends on your children. I mean, different children have different ways of learning, right? A level is more to drilling, IB is more to projects, but then it's fine. So he is an IB dropout, and then the parents are so worried, where should I put my kids? He is not suitable in taking the IB. I say, it's okay, he is a smart one. Just take a homeschooling. At that time, people think I'm crazy. What are you doing? You are taking A-level as a private candidate, not going to school. I tried to convince his parents, it is fine. No one cares about your school, because what is important is your A-level score or your IB score. And then after he took the A-level, he got 3 A-star. Mathematics, physics, and chemistry, 3 A-star. And then he applied to KAIS. And also he applied to HKUST, Hong Kong University. Both of them accept him, but he chose KAIS.
Amazing. It's clear that you're teaching also life skills in how you mentor your students above and beyond. Yeah. And these ideas of making hard choices and resilience and waiting and patience, like it's very, very commendable how you mentor your students, and very clear also how sincerely you care about their well-being and their success. So big bravo to you, and thank you, Leslie, for everything you're doing to make our future better. Yeah.
I would just like to add my thanks as well, Leslie. I think that you're taking students and turning them into social entrepreneurs as well by the investment that you're modeling as a social leader, not just near home, but around the world. And when I think about, you know, these different universities that your students are going to, of course, Waterloo holds a very special place in my heart because it's just down the road here in Canada. And it's an excellent school, as are the others that you mentioned. And I'm just really in awe of you, in awe of your leadership to step in and see this short-term investment, not from a financial perspective, but in human beings. And human beings are what will change the world. And you are a change maker, a social change maker. And I really applaud the work that you're doing, and I really encourage you to keep doing it and keep looking for different partnerships. And one question I know that we're running out of time, but a question I have for you is, were you inspired by a model of another organization, or I'm curious where your inspiration came from?
Well, when I was a student, my parents have a financial issue. So when I was sitting at secondary school, I need to work already. I need to start working. So I found out like, I found out like it will be very difficult for me to work and to study at that time. But then I managed to do that. That's why after I come to the chances to take trainings from internationals like IBO and Cambridge, I remember all of my difficulties, and I still believe education is one of the way for someone to change their future. And this session is recorded, right? I have a YouTube channel. The name is Leslie. For anyone who is watching this, if you want to learn something for free, you can subscribe to that, and you can drop your email. I'm conducting lessons through Zoom. I have students across the world. I have some from India and some from Singapore. If you have the right time, you can connect with me, and don't think about the payment issue. It come at last. Leslie. You can drop your email there. I will reply.
Oh my God.
Leslie, I was just going to ask you, here in the UK, I have a STEM educational organisation called Discovery STEM Education. Deborah just mentioned partnerships. It would be great to connect with you and see if there's ways that we can partner together. We do a lot of global work, training teachers and global events for young people. So Discovery STEM Education, I'm going to just send you a quick link in the chat box for you to see the website, and my email address as well. It would be really great for the teachers in my organisation to link with the teachers in your organisation. It's really fantastic. I'm so inspired. Thank you so much for sharing. Keep it up.
Thank you. Okay, so later you can contact each other through email, I guess.
Yes. Leslie, thanks so much for spending time with us today. And everybody, let's go check out Leslie on YouTube. This is great. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye there.